So I saw Inside Out, and definitely one of the best Pixar movies that have come out in these recent years, but is it better than Up and the other animated movies before that? I'm not quite sure. Alright, chances are you know exactly what Inside Out is about because you've probably either already seen it or you're looking forward to seeing it and you've looked up the plot and yada yada yada, but Inside Out is our newest Pixar film. And Inside Out is about the inside workings of this young girl where 5 different emotions control her. We've got joy, sadness, disgust, anger, and fear. All 5 of those emotions are played wonderfully by their corresponding actors and actresses. The voices felt perfect for the emotions that they're supposed to be, plus those emotions act accordingly to what you expect those emotions to act like. So the young girl they're controlling suddenly has to move to San Francisco, and it all deals with the emotions that a young girl could go through when they're dealing with moving to a new place and having to deal with new friends and a new school and so on and so forth. And I have to say, it is pretty damn interesting. In all honesty, the main character of this film isn't the little girl, but rather the emotions, and in particular, joy and sadness. Because of a certain situation, I won't explain too much because I want to avoid spoilers in case you haven't seen the film yet, but joy and sadness have to go on a journey. Basically, they get jettisoned out of Control Center and they have to get back to Central Control before the young girl loses all of what makes her her. Yeah, basically the young girl's going through quite a bit of changes and she's pretty much losing her personality and losing the things that make her her. And it doesn't help when you have only 3 emotions to help control her, which are anger, disgust, and fear during those times when joy and sadness are gone. So that can leave some drastic decisions. Now I have to hand it to Inside Out. The way they handle emotions, memories, what makes a person, and the ideas that happen in this movie are pretty damn amazing. It's done in a way that might make perfect sense to younger audience, and I have to commend it for that. In a way, it reminds me of Monsters Incorporated, which is one of the Pixar films I definitely really like. It also handles growing up really well, and basically how memories can fade and memories are no longer needed, and there's a bunch of different awesome ideas in Inside Out. And I think that is why a lot of people are considering this movie highly original, because at first I was thinking, you know what, a lot of people are saying this is the most original Pixar movie they've seen and one of the most original movies they've seen this year, and I thought, you know what, a bunch of little people controlling someone else through their brain and emotions, and that sort of thing has been done before through different other things. Now, whether it's been an actual full-length movie that has done it, or it's a little skit in a cartoon or something, it has been done before. The difference is that they go all out, and the other things along with it, like the memories and what makes a memory controlled by a certain emotion and different little things that help it become way more original. I love how it handles the importance of all the emotions, and I love the journey that Joy goes through because she is the most complex of the emotions by far. Mainly because she's the freaking main character, so they have to go on a journey. They have to change at some point, otherwise if your main character doesn't make a change at some point in the movie, then something's wrong with your main character. And there are some absolutely hilarious moments that can happen when you see what's going on in the other people's minds too, because there's this huge dinner conversation and you get to see the emotions and the control center of both of the parents and the child at the same time, and you see them going back and forth, and I gotta say that is pretty damn funny. There's even a sketch at the end because It's one of those movies where there's something really funny at the end credits, you know, like 22 Jump Street was amazing because it showed all these different possible sequels. And in this one, it shows a little bit in the heads of other characters throughout the rest of the film. So watch that before you leave because it's pretty funny. Now, despite me absolutely liking Inside Out, and despite me thinking it is definitely the best Pixar movie that has come for this last couple of years, because what have we got since Up? We've had Cars 2, well, Toy Story 3, I guess that's the exception, Monsters University, Brave, what else? There isn't that much. So Inside Out is one of the better movies that has come out from Pixar in the last couple of years. But at the same time, for me, Inside Out didn't have that emotional punch that most Pixar movies have. Now there is one sad moment that I can clearly, I can definitely understand it's sad, and a lot of people were actually crying. But for me, there wasn't a huge emotional punch that all the other films of Pixar have, or all the other ones in the early years of Pixar have. And at the same time, I felt pretty detached to the young girl that they're controlling, because there's some moments where it feels like she has her own character, and it feels like the emotions aren't really controlling her, but rather controlling what emotion they have for certain memories. But then there's other times where they feel like they have complete control of our main girl, our young girl, and it makes her feel like she's more of a robot rather than an actual person. So for me, the young girl that they're trying to save and trying to get back to her own self, I really felt detached to her to a point where it didn't really matter that much, you know? But again, I'm not saying that Inside Out is a bad film at all, and I'm not saying that you can't have any emotional attachment to this film. It's just, for me, it felt lacking. And really, that is the only issue I have with Inside Out, because it is an extremely fun time. I love a lot of the little ideas that they have in the film, and the characters are funny and crazy, and it is a Pixar movie, and it feels like they're getting back into what they did years ago. Now, Inside Out would still be among my top 10 Pixar films, but then again, there's only been 15 Pixar films, so that's pretty easy feat. But nevertheless, Inside Out is getting 4.5 stars. I highly recommend it. It's not my favorite family movie that has come out this year. My favorite would be Paddington, actually. But so far, Inside Out is hands down best animated film this year so far. Because what other competition do they have? SpongeBob, which I really liked, surprisingly, and Home, which is just sort of okay. So yeah, Inside Out is definitely the best animated film right now, but maybe there'll be something else that comes out that will surprise us all. Have you seen Inside Out? What did you think about it? Go ahead and comment. If you haven't seen Inside Out, what is your favorite Pixar movie? You know what? I am going to make a list of top 10 Pixar films, most likely. So I'll tell you my favorite Pixar film when that happens. And as always, this is Bruce Gifford, and this was Just My Opinion.